Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom, and today I'm taking a look at a mall that I initially assumed was yet another one of Pennsylvania's many dead malls, but I was wrong. As you'll see, this mall is far from dead, and on top of that, it still looks largely like it did in the 1990s, which, at least to me, is a positive because it reminds me a lot of the malls I grew up with. So now come along with me and let me know what you think about this mall in the comments. And don't forget, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more mall videos coming up. Thanks. So this mall opened in 1973. It was developed by a company called Associates of the 80s, and it's currently managed by Lexington Realty International. The original anchor stores were Zare, which I have very fond memories of growing up in Connecticut, and Fowler, Dick & Walker, the Boston store, which I have to admit I've never heard of before, but it was apparently a department store. Between 1993 and 1994, this mall underwent a major renovation, which included adding the wing of the mall that we're in now, as well as adding a third anchor store, JCPenney, which was located straight ahead where the Dunham Sports is today. The JCPenney closed in 2014, and it was replaced by this Dunham's in 2015. During the 1993 to 1994 renovation, they also added the skylights, replaced the flooring, and expanded the Boscovs, which had moved into the old Fowler, Dick & Walker space in 1981. And as far as I can tell, there haven't been any major updates or renovations to the appearance of the interior of the mall since 1994. So I believe that the mall today looks largely the way it did back in the 1990s, except of course for the different stores that are here today. Now, to be clear, I'm only talking about cosmetic changes to the interior of the mall, not changes to the exterior of the mall or the anchor stores, which have been updated and renovated greatly since the 1990s. And of course, if I'm wrong about any of that, please let me know in the comments. Overall, I really like this mall, especially the look of it, which I would say is kind of a mix between an 80s and a 90s mall. You know, if you were to put this mall back in the 1980s, it would fit right in. Nobody would say there's anything unusual about it. So it's very much an 80s, 90s mall, which I love. Now, that being said, just to play devil's advocate, I could see somebody saying that this mall looks a little bit too cluttered. Like there's just too much stuff inside here. I can see that. It did feel a little bit cluttered to me, honestly. But overall, again, I like the mall. I like the appearance of the mall. Especially the center play area here. This is something straight out of the back rooms. I mean, this is amazing. I don't know how else to describe it. And I think for any of you out there that are fans of the back rooms, you'll know what I'm talking about. And of course, because this mall is in Pennsylvania, they've got these gambling machines, which I'm still getting used to. I wasn't aware that Pennsylvania was so big on gambling until I started doing these Pennsylvania mall walkthroughs just last year. But yeah, they're everywhere. Another feature of this mall that I love are all these planters, which a lot of malls today don't have. The only thing I would have liked to have seen, which they didn't have, was a fountain. And let me know in the comments, did this mall ever have a water fountain? I also love this classic Bath & Body Works with the wood paneling, which in my experience are not all that common nowadays. I think in the 100 or more malls I've been to over the last few years, I've seen maybe 5 Bath & Body Works that look like that, if that many. And then we've got neon. I mean, come on. Neon? You just don't see that nowadays. Also, I forgot to mention, this was filmed on a Tuesday at about 4 p.m., which I would imagine is not the mall's busiest time of the day, which could account for the lack of customers in the hallway here. But again, overall, I don't feel that this mall is dead or dying, even though it does look a little bit empty at this point. There's another gambling type machine. This is a coin pusher. And unlike a lot of the coin pushers you see in arcades, that one actually looked to have real coins in it. And this store was kind of interesting. It seemed to have a lot of snacks from other countries. Alright, so now we are leaving the 1993-1994 wing of the mall, and we're entering the original mall, which went from left to right here. It was basically just a straight hallway. Coming up on the right where the Old Navy is today, that was originally McCrory's. I'm not exactly sure when the McCrory's closed, but it was replaced by Ben Franklin Crafts in 1996. And I'm also not sure when the Old Navy opened, but if I had to guess, it was probably sometime in the early 2000s. And then at the end of the hallway, this is where the original anchor store Zayre was located. It was rebranded as an Ames in 1989, the Ames closed in 1993, and Kmart moved in 1994. The Kmart finally closed in 2018 and was replaced partially by Hobby Lobby and partially by Planet Fitness in 2021. The Hobby Lobby is actually located behind the back wall here. Now let's do a very quick walkthrough of the Spirit Halloween. I'm not going to go through everything as I already did a full video on Spirit Halloween a few days ago, but I figured I had to take another look at the animatronics.
You have a beautiful head.
Yes, it will complete our collection nicely.
Don't be afraid. Come closer. Take a candy.
And let's carve up some fun this night. Our treats are crafted from your darkest nightmares.
Don't be afraid, little one. This is going to hurt much more than you.
Monkey king, monkey king.
Not everyone who does gets to live to tell about it.
You will be playing red light, green light. You are allowed to move forward when it shouts out green light. Stop when it shouts red light. If your movement is detected afterwards, you will be eliminated.
Green light. Red light.
Player eliminated.
Alright, well that was fun, but now it's time to get back to the mall. So this TJ Maxx on the right opened in 2017, and from what I've heard, they're actually going to be expanding the TJ Maxx over the next year or so. Just past the TJ Maxx here on the right, is where Provost Shoes used to be. They actually had to relocate to another part of the mall to make room for the TJ Maxx. And then beyond it, on the corner here, this is where Auntie Anne's Pretzels used to be. From what I understand, the Auntie Anne's has closed temporarily, but will be reopening somewhere else within the mall. Not sure where though, or when. On the right, this is also where TJ Maxx is going to be expanding. And from what I've read, one of these spots used to be a Subway restaurant, which has closed. And I could be wrong, but I think they said they're not going to be reopening. And if I had to guess, I would say this was probably the Subway just based on the way it looks inside. I mean, that looks like a Subway restaurant to me. But again, if I'm wrong, please let me know. On the right is Cafe Europa, and that looks like a pretty nice restaurant. I especially like the way they have the seating in the hallway here. I don't know what it is about that, but I really like that. And there's Provost Shoes, which relocated from next to TJ Maxx. And unlike a lot of malls I've been to recently, they actually still have vendors in the mall kiosks. They're not just empty spots like they are in a lot of the malls. On the left is a great store called The Market, and I would say it's like an antique mall, indoor flea market / antique store. And I did do a walkthrough of The Market. It was about 15 minutes, so I didn't include the full walkthrough in this video. I'll do a little bit of it in this video so you get an idea of what it looks like, but I'm going to do a separate video just on The Market. Here's a picture of this stretch of the mall taken back, I think, in the early 80s. And you can see very clearly how much different the mall looked before the 93-94 renovation. I'm not sure what used to be in here, but it says that they've moved next to the Sneaker King. So I guess they just relocated with inside the mall. And then where the Boscov's is today, that's where the original anchor store Fowler, Dick & Walker, the Boston store, was located. And like I mentioned, it became Boscov's in 1981. And if I had to guess, I would say that used to be a jewelry store. Alright, so here's the market, and let's take a very quick look inside here. Like I mentioned, I'm going to do a full video on this in the hopefully not too distant future. They had a pretty nice selection of uranium glass here, and I was really happy to see it lit up by UV like this. I don't see that too often in antique malls. Now, in general, I much prefer outdoor flea markets to indoor flea markets or antique malls like this, but I have to say, the prices in here were generally fairly reasonable, And they had a lot of great stuff. Like if this were an outdoor flea market, I would be very happy with it. I would say this was a great flea market. They were asking $8 on that Exxon truck, which I don't think is unreasonable. And of course, I'm always looking for character glasses, and they did have quite a few here. And they had this one I've never seen before. I've seen the large size Cabbage Patch Kid glass, but I've never seen this small version before. So I actually did end up buying that. I think it was only $5, which is pretty much what I would expect to pay. And they had an extensive collection of vintage Star Wars figures and vehicles and everything. I mean, this was an amazing selection of stuff. And if you watch the full video, whenever I post that, I'll show you pretty much everything else they had as well. At first, I didn't know what this thing was here on the left. Turns out it's an elevator, and actually beneath part of the mall is a parking garage, which I didn't even realize there was a parking garage here until I went down these stairs. So let's take a really quick look at the parking garage, and then we'll take a ride in the elevator. And also, you will notice what looked to be Christmas lights everywhere. This was not filmed around Christmas. This was filmed in early September 2025, so I'm not sure why they had Christmas lights up already. Not that I'm complaining, it just seemed a little bit out of place. And can anybody tell me the make and model of this elevator? Now don't go anywhere yet. Next we're going to do a drive around the mall and see what it looks like from the outside. But now that you've seen the mall, what do you think of it? Again, personally, I think the mall is doing just fine. It seems to be even thriving, potentially. I mean, it could be a little bit busier, but again, this was filmed on a Tuesday at about 4 p.m., so I think that might be part of the issue. But yeah, overall, I think this mall is doing just fine. So this is the end of the mall that I entered, and this is where JCPenney used to be, and it's now currently Dunham Sports. Here's what it used to look like when it was JCPenney. And then this is the building that was originally Zayre's, then it became Ames, and then Kmart, and then finally it became Hobby Lobby and Planet Fitness. Except for that one part that is the Spirit Halloween right now. I'm not sure if something's going to go in there in the near future, but that's the only part of the old Kmart that is still vacant. As you can probably tell, this used to be the Kmart Garden Center. This used to be the main entrance to the Kmart. Like I mentioned, the TJ Maxx opened in 2017. I'm not sure what used to be in there, though. I'm assuming it was another large store, but I wasn't able to find anything online saying what was in there. There's the parking garage, and then here's the Boscov's, which, as I mentioned a couple times, was originally Fowler, Dick, and Walker, the Boston store. And there you have it. That was the Laurel Mall in Hazleton, Pennsylvania. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more mall videos coming up, as well as store walkthroughs, flea markets, and who knows what else. And if you could, please check out my second channel, Flea Bitten Side Quest, which nobody watches at this point. And also, please check out my Patreon, which is called Flea Bitten Adventures as well. And for a monthly fee, you do get access to exclusive videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.